Welcome. Thank you for joining the Live in Divine Harmony podcast. I'm Carmen, your divine synergist of Heart's Joy. I'm a spiritual leader of purpose and a numerologist. I help those who are turned off by church, who are seeking connection, fulfillment, joy, and purpose, who may be feeling frustrated instead of experiencing joy daily. They want to fit in and will do anything to feel good, but it's not authentically who they are or what they want. Through coaching programs and events, I guide my clients to live their purpose and live intentionally every day, leading to a fulfilled and joyful life. Thank you for tuning in. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and hit that bell for notifications so you never miss another episode. Let's dive in. Welcome back to the numerology and energy update for December, the last numerology and energy update for 2024, of literally the most magical time of the year. And I will say, when I first tuned into the energies of December, I actually did that a couple of months ago. They have shifted. They've definitely shifted. And I will say that it has shifted in a very happy way. To say that we've shifted timelines is an understatement. And we're going to talk about that today in the numerology and energy update, where we are and where are we headed, how to truly work with and harness these energies for these last few days of 2024. And if you have ever had a private session with me, you've heard me say that 52 days before your birthday is when energies shift from one personal year to the next. And the same thing happens at the end of the month and especially the end of the year, because we are shifting dramatically and we're really preparing ourselves for 2025. And before I dive into this, also know, and you've heard me say this many times before, time isn't real. This is a man-made calendar, and some of us celebrate the new year in March because that's the astrological new year. So keep that in mind as well as I talk about this. And let's dive in to the numerology, the energy, the astrology of December. What can you expect during this time? And I get the question a lot of why do you talk about this? Well, in order to truly live intentionally, which is, to live your what I call your divine purpose, it's understanding how all of this is impacting you, because we're all energy. And you can choose to let these energies hold you back, hold you down, weigh you down, or you can learn what is truly happening in what I call the others and work with it for your good to truly live your purpose every single day. Because I believe that we each have a larger divine purpose that some of us are tapped into, we're tuned into, and some of us are not. And once you are, it's like butter. Everything falls into alignment with each other, and it's very easy. Not to say life isn't going to be difficult. Things just happen. So go ahead and get your notebook out, your favorite pen, and let's talk about, what does December look like? It has definitely been a roller coaster of a year, needless to say. And December's energy, the numbers we're playing with, December's a 12th month. So you've got the 12 energy, you've got 2 plus 1 is 3. It's then a 2 energy as well, because when you add up 8 plus 2 plus 1, because we're in an overall 8 energy, or I'm sorry, yeah, 8 plus 2 plus 1, that's 11, which is 2. And then you have your 8 energy as well. And when you look at all of those energies, you are truly experiencing a spiritual change, preparing you for 2025. The two energy is all about relationships. And this is and has been, frankly, yeah, it's been about your career, but it's been about you all of 2024 because your career, your job is simply an extension of you, of how you show up, of what it is that you enjoy doing. And this month in particular, it's going to be about you. The relationship focal point, this two energy, is about you. How are you expressing yourself here at the end of the year? Are you able to express yourself, express your emotions, express who you really are? That goes back to the authenticity piece, which we've talked about on and off this year as well. It's wrapping up anything at the end of this year to prepare you for the 9 energy year coming in. So next year, 2025 is a 9 energy year. And I will most likely do 2 podcasts at the beginning of 2025. I always do one for the energy of the year to help you understand overall what that 9 energy is. And especially with where we are right now, I would say as a collective, because the timelines have shifted so much. And I'll do a podcast about that. And then we'll also do one specifically for January as well. For right now, I really want you to focus on you. And you've heard me say life's about you and life is not about you. And that's true every single day because how we show up, how we feel is how we show up. And that's what we are truly causing and creating in our life every single day. And are you living intentionally or are you just simply living on repeat? And now is the best time of any time. Yes, it's the holidays. Yes, there's a lot happening. I get it. And this is why the last podcast episode I talked about why is now the best time ever to sit down and really look at who you are and what it is that you want. And this is what we're going to do in the masterclass. Make sure to get on the wait list for the Cultivate Confidence and Clarity Masterclass. Yes, we will spend one Saturday virtually taking this masterclass. And it's going to be glorious because that is truly working with the energies, with these energies here in December. And energetically, the election outcome has already shifted energetically, right? The energy. And some people who I've spoken with, they say that they're afraid of the United States going backwards. And what I want to say is, I understand how you feel. And I understand your perspective and why you think that. And it's actually not, it's going to go backwards and not in a way that you think it's going to go backwards. And that's not something that I really want to get into in this podcast. And I'm bringing it up because it does impact you. It does impact the energy. I mean, how many people have I spoken with that they said, yeah, I need a little joy. So they decorated early. And honestly, I decorated a little early, my first time decorating before Thanksgiving, mainly because of the weather, because I didn't want to do it when it was so flippin' cold outside because of how cold it is outside right now. I think it's maybe 20 degrees outside where I am. And some people were like, yeah, I just wanted joy. I watched a Christmas movie a couple of days ago. I don't remember the name of it. And it was about this man who was a secret Santa and was doing these kind gestures for this small town and how it changed their moods. And it's in a similar way how even if the person who's in office, you didn't want them in office, look at how it's changed your mood for the better. And by the way, that's all a choice. That's all your choice. And so those who said, you know what, I'm going to focus on a little cheer and a little joy right now, that's what you're causing and creating. That's what it's all about. So if you are feeling like things are maybe a little off or wonky, they are because one, we're shifting. So we're massively shifting timelines. We're shifting from one end of the year to the next year. We are being called and in some cases pushed, depending on where you are in your journey and what work you've done. You're truly being pushed to focus on you, to focus on your healing, to focus on taking responsibility and accountability. All of that's happening as we speak. And yeah, it's the most magical time of the year. And also remember, I always like to just remind people this, Christmas is about Jesus's birth. And two things: Jesus wasn't born in December. And even if you don't believe, there's still magic in this holiday, which I may end up talking about in a podcast because when you can tap into that magic, that it's a bliss magic. It will shift your life if you allow it to. That's what this month is all about. So let's talk about the planetary alignments. We are finally in the age of Aquarius that so many people said we were already in. We were not. We now are in the true age of Aquarius. And depending on what you've let go of, depending on the work that you've done leading up until this point, depends on what you're going to experience for the next 19 years. It's a 19-year cycle. Think about that. Think about the last 19 years and what you experienced versus what is it that you want to experience the next 19 years? Because if you're like me, I don't want to experience a lot of that stuff anymore. So I'm choosing something different for this new 19-year cycle. So I want you to keep that in mind. Mercury actually started its retrograde November 25th, so right before Thanksgiving, and it ends December 15th. Again, focus on communication. It's Mercury retrograde focuses on multiple things: travel, electronics, communication. I personally would not buy anything electronic during this time. I would have either bought it before or wait until after to purchase something. And I really believe that it's going to be more focused on communication just because the energy of this month is really heavily focused on relationship energy. So again, expressing yourself, communication. Are you clearly communicating with other people? I've noticed in communications over the last, I'd say, several months that I will either verbally say something to someone or in a text message, and then they interpret it how they want to interpret it. And I will correct them and say, that's not what I said. Absolutely not what I said. And it's actually easier for me to do to say, go back and read the text message again, because that is not what I said. So are you putting your own spin onto things that you're hearing? And I've noticed a lot of people do that. Or instead of asking questions to get clarity, we just make assumptions. So start to notice your communication patterns, because part of communication is also listening. It's being present, listening, and that reading piece as well. If you have not already started to journal, you can still do that. Go back to the pre-shadow period. All of those dates are in the online community, Experience Your Awakening online community. The questions are out there as well. So what I do for any Mercury retrograde is I have a set of questions, same set of questions every Mercury retrograde, that I will journal on. And then I also have the Mercury retrograde book that was co-authored by Yasmin Boland. Always, anytime you use her books, always use your rising sign. I mean, I've been told that always using your rising sign with astrology is where it's at. I'm also not an astrologer. So, when you do that, when you do both of those things, both the journal and reading the book, it will give you great insight into what you personally will be experiencing during that Mercury retrograde. So, those are some tips to help you during this time. Don't forget, we also have 2 weeks after that called the post shadow period. It's going to be wrapping up any energies that didn't take place during Mercury retrograde. And if you haven't noticed the patterns yet, this is typical. I absolutely love the energy for December. We have 2 new moons. We've got this Mercury retrograde. We have we've got another planet stationing direct. So lots of movement. When these planets are retrograding or stationing, things are changing, things are shifting. That's the energy, and you can't see it. You can't, well, some people can. Some people can physically see the energy. Most people, you can't see it, and it's happening. It's just happening. It's our everyday normal. So, I'm recording this on December 1st. Happy new moon in Sagittarius here on December 1st. The energy of this moon is really focused on asking yourself, what if it really does happen? So often we think of, oh my gosh, what if this doesn't happen? But what if it does? What then? I love, love, love this energy. I love the fact that we have 2 new moons this month, and it's an extremely powerful time to set your intentions. Again, that's what we do in the masterclass. We create our intentions for 3 months at a time because they're going to change and shift with the energy. I used to do them for 6 months at a time until the energy shifts became so often. Anyway, it's a time for you to set your intentions, and I'm going to encourage you to set your intentions for the first 3 months of 2025. And of course, this is what we do. So, in the Cultivate Confidence and Clarity Masterclass, it is not only we're not focused on one word of the year. To me, that pigeonholes you because it's going to shift and change. We create 5 to 6 ways of how do we want to feel because we're looking at all of our life areas, not just the main 3 that most people look at. And we take those and we cultivate, and it's very carefully curated intentions for every life area. And then one intention you're going to focus on. And then to top it off, you're going to receive 30-day PDF of my journal so that you're now taking action. That's the piece that most people miss, is the action piece to actually start to experience these in your life. So yes, now is the best time for so many reasons to hop in the masterclass. And I will be sure to have a link or QR code available for you to get on the wait list. And I also am offering a BOGO as well. So buy one, get one. And it's going to be, especially if you do the BOGO, it's going to be the lowest price I've ever offered it. So grab your bestie, grab your neighbor, grab a coworker, and let's do this. Now, Mars goes retrograde in Leo, December 6th through February 24th. Neptune is actually going to station direct in Pisces, December 7th. And I love how it's kind of like one goes retrograde and one stations direct. And keep in mind, retrograde, no matter what the planet, is a time for review. I love how we get to hit the rewind button energetically instead of just on our TVs, on our devices, to rewind and really take a look at what is going on. Full moon in Gemini on December 15th. This is going to be an opportunity for you to let go of anything in order to clear a new path for you, for the Christmas magic to happen, for your intentions to happen. You've got to be able to let go and clear it in order for you to truly receive what it is that you're meant to receive. And especially when I talk about letting go, these full moons and new moons work in conjunction with each other. So you're going to have a full moon in Gemini, December 15th. And then in a few months, you're going to have a full moon in Gemini. So that's why sometimes it's fun to write down these things so you can go back and say, oh, yeah, I let go of XYZ back on December 15th. And now I get to receive. And you can focus on that during that new moon time. So know that you are the creator of your life. You are the creator of your life. You get to choose, what is this going to look like? And once you make that choice, get fully committed to it and start to take different actions. Now, we have the winter solstice here in the United States, December 21st. And of course, this is when winter starts here in the Northern Hemisphere. The summer months start in the Southern Hemisphere. And it's definitely a beautiful day of change once again. So during this solstice time, no matter where you are, start to ask yourself, what can I release that's going to limit me or distract me from truly experiencing this alignment in my life, this natural flow, this harmony in my life working with the universe? There is this flow of the universe, which is why I do these numerology and energy updates, and I talk about the astrology piece. And during this solstice, again, no matter where you are, it's releasing those limits, releasing the distractions so that you can truly tap into these energies of what is really happening. You know, I love it when I talk about intuition and people are like, oh, did I dream this up? Yeah. And that is, it's your body knows. And yes, that's real. And yes, your dreams are real. Kind of like with your purpose. Oh, well, I had an idea, but I don't know if I can. Okay, well, that's ego. That's something else coming in to distract you from truly living your purpose. Happens all the time. So now is the time to release that, let go of it. Again, it goes back to this month itself, goes back to the relationship with yourself, which is one of the most important relationships because that's what leads to the relationship with God, with Jesus. It's simply, it's again that natural flow. It's all connected. And of course, shortly after that, we celebrate Christmas. Extremely magical time. I love this time. And actually, with the family this year, we're doing something a little different, something I've been wanting to do for a while. And I am excited to see how it goes. I will share afterwards. I don't want to give anything away. And when I spoke with my sister and my nieces and nephew, they were super excited. Mom's not too sure yet. That's okay. Dad totally goes with the flow. It's going to be a lot of fun. That's what this is all about, is having fun during this time of year. Now we have that last new moon in Capricorn, December 30th. Again, I love the fact that we've got two new moons in a month, you've got a second new moon at the end of the month, ushering in this beautiful change energy, the magical manifesting energy, getting ready for 2025. And I apologize. You probably heard the cat. Bubbles, very vocal this morning. Gotta love her. She is 15 and very sassy. Anyway, we were talking about the new moon and how it's kind of like that last push, that last, yeah, I want to say push, um, to really shift us into this beautiful energy for what 2025 is going to bring during this new moon. And so during the new moon on December 30th, ask yourself, what's really worth your time? What is really worth your energy? I have pulled back my energy from a lot of different people, places, environments that I used to pour myself into. And it has simply shifted my life entirely. It's allowed me to shift my focus onto really what matters for me, on my purpose, living my purpose intentionally every day. It's so I share that because when you do that yourself, it does shift. And it's interesting how sometimes, you may be thinking, oh, I don't know what's going to happen or what this person's going to think. It doesn't matter. And I want to say I understand. And two, it simply doesn't matter. This is about you living your purpose every day, your divine purpose. And by the way, your purpose isn't just your job. There's many different factors, things a part of your purpose. And this is what you learn in the Live on Purpose course, which by the way, you can hop on the wait list for that at any given time. That will open up. The actual class will probably open up in the first quarter of 2025. And during the last new moon in 2024, really ask yourself and start to notice, what are these distractions? Notice how they're limiting you. And then what happens when you let go of them, when they're no longer around? How are you saying yes to you? How are you saying yes to what matters to you? And by the way, it's okay if you are unsure of your purpose just yet and you're going to be taking the Live on Purpose course, or you're curious about what your purpose is. Now is the time to focus on getting rid of these distractions so that you can truly live out loud every day, expressing yourself every single day. So, what's next? What's next for you? I encourage you to find the harmony of living within the Christmas magic, of taking care of yourself. I saw a video recently. She eloquently shared how she wished she understood in her 20s not just what rest is, but how to restore your energy as well. I think that's a very important to understand the difference between rest, restoration, and that gets to happen all the time, not just during busy times for us, and how to find that harmony as well throughout our days. I don't say balance. Balance is a perfectionism energy, and nobody's can find that balance. So how can you go with the flow of the energies every single day, taking care of yourself, working on yourself, living intentionally, living your purpose, and still being in contribution, giving to other people? That's your purpose. That's a big piece of the purpose, is being in contribution to others, because you have gifts to use. And some of you may not have any idea what they are. I didn't for a really long time. You may wonder what those are. So join us in the online community, Experience Your Awakening. Join us in there and let's continue to have these conversations. Let's continue to connect with one another, support one another, find that joy and fulfillment every single day. That's what this is all about. Okay. So until next time, sending you much love. Take care.